Hey guys, Saiyan here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so today, as you can see by the title and the thumbnail, we are going to be discussing my thoughts on the part 2 of the celebration and what the characters that are going to be released are going to be. So I'm not going to go into crazy detail on like what I think the banners will look like. I think I might do that as a separate video. Let me know down below if you want to see my predictions on what the banners will look like. Obviously the Dokkan Fest one, we can kind of get an idea from some of the units that are on the current one, and obviously some of the ones that were not on it that are likely going to be on the second one. The Carnival Lr Banner one could be interesting because some of the LRs have some relation to Goku. Some of them seem pretty random, like the fact that future Gohan and Trunks are on there, although they are on Powerful Comeback. So be interesting to see what that could look like. But for today's video, we are just going to talk about the characters themselves. So I couldn't get a good screenshot for it. I did tweet about it earlier. I think it's from the JP live stream. They did mention that basically the characters for part 2 are heavily hinted at by the theme of part 1. So realistically, the only best way to interpret that is that part 2 is going to be the second Cooler movie, which I mean, people have been speculating that since we found out that part 1 was going to be the first Cooler movie anyway, because obviously basing an entire worldwide celebration that lasts for basically a full month, basing that around one movie, especially when, you know, before we even knew the banner format was going to change, we assumed it would be a dual Dokkan Fest and then a part 2 LR banner with 2 LRs. Getting all of that content out of one movie was always going to be difficult. So people speculated about the part 2 being the Metal Cooler movie, and it seems very likely that that is going to be the case. Now, obviously, in Dokkan, we've kind of learned by this point that nothing is 100% guaranteed. I can't say it is 100% going to be Metal Cooler, but I feel like at this point, you know, we're what, like 99%, 99.9, right? But you never know. Dokkan could pull a fast one, and you never know what's going to happen. So we'll start off with the very obvious one. So looking at the two banners, one thing I think is a good, pretty safe bet, right? They've changed the summon format from being a dual Dokkan Fest with 2 Dokkan Fest LRs, 1 Super, 1 Extreme, and then a part 2 LR banner with 2 LRs, to this new format where we have a Dokkan Festival LR banner and then a Legendary Summon Carnival. In part 1, Cooler is the Dokkan Fest LR and Goku is the Carnival exclusive. So obviously Cooler is Extreme, the Dokkan Fest is Extreme, and the Carnival exclusive is Super. So I feel like it's a pretty safe bet that they're going to flip that on its head for part 2. So the Dokkan Fest exclusive LR will be a Super type, and then the Legendary Summon Carnival unit will be an Extreme type. And this obviously means that they're still kind of following along. If you think, if they started designing the units for this celebration, even say before they decided to change the summon format, it makes sense, right, for the other Dokkan Fest exclusive to be Super type, because under the original format they would have just both released at the same time as 2 like dual Dokkan Fest banners. So seems pretty likely that the first one is going to be a Super type for the Dokkan Fest. And you know, where can we really go with this for the Metal Cooler movie without some form of Super Saiyan Goku and obviously Super Saiyan Vegeta? Now I brought up both the pages here so we can have a little bit of a look. So we got the Super Saiyan Gokus. I feel like we're going to start off as Super Saiyan, right? Like, even though the Carnival exclusive is Super Saiyan Goku, I don't imagine the unit is going to be standalone Super Saiyan Goku, but I do think he will be a Super Saiyan. I don't think he'll be base and then transform. I re-watched the Metal Cooler movie before making this video just to try and get some insights into what they could do, and obviously even in the movie, like, he doesn't really do anything to Metal Cooler until he goes Super Saiyan. Even with like the Kaioken, he's pretty much unable to do any damage to him, and it's not until he goes Super Saiyan that he's actually kind of able to hold back one of the Metal Cooler clones. And of course at one point, even in Super Saiyan, he starts to get a bit of a beatdown, and then Vegeta flies in for the rescue. So I do think the card is going to be both of them together. Now we have this Super Saiyan Goku from the Cooler movie. He has a very standard Super Saiyan Goku set of links, apart from Z Fighters, which I guess is one that we could quite easily get rid of. Obviously he'll have Fierce Battle and he will have Legendary Power, but I do think Vegeta is going to be involved somehow. When we look at the Super Saiyan Vegetas, we do actually have this tech Super Saiyan Vegeta from the Cooler movie. You can see the Metal Cooler core in the background. I'm assuming that this guy and potentially the STR Piccolo as well, the AoE unit that's also from the Cooler movie, I would hope that these guys get easy A's in Part 2, but I'm actually not too sure what to think about that now, considering the fact that I would have almost bet money in Part 1 that the Tech, Gohan and Icarus and the physical Cooler Armored Squadron would get easy A's, because those two units are based specifically from that first Cooler movie. So, like, when else are we ever going to get a first Cooler movie celebration? So it seems weird that they didn't do that. Maybe there's going to be an EX part where they'll drop the easy A's for those two units and these two units maybe. Maybe just like Part 1, we'll get a Dokkan Fest exclusive and then an LR easy A in Part 2 and then Part 3, which the celebration is confirmed to have 3 parts, I believe. Then in Part 3 they could do, like, you know, 2, like they did with the anniversary, do 2 easy A events, the easy A 2 units, and do 1 for Vegeta and Piccolo and 1 for the Gohan and the Cooler Armored Squadron. But well, that remains to be seen. So whether this guy gets an easy A or not, it's not really relevant to this particular point. He's just a Super Saiyan Vegeta. As you can see, obviously shares a few links with the Goku, but then has links like Prodigy, Saiyan, Pride, and stuff like that, which would obviously change. So if we take a look at the 2 Super Saiyan Goku and Vegetas that we have, which of course are the 3-year LRs. So these guys are Super Saiyan Goku and Super Saiyan Vegeta. And this is the kind of link set I guess we could expect to see. Maybe not Kamehameha, because I don't think Goku doesn't do a Kamehameha at all in the point where they're fighting all of the Metal Cooler clones. So that could quite easily change to something else, but that's fine. Even experienced fighters, I don't know how they decide to give this link out to characters, because obviously in the Cooler movie, it's one of the first times since Vegeta has become a Super Saiyan that he's obviously then in a movie as a Super Saiyan. So I'm not even sure if in the first Cooler movie, because obviously Vegeta's not in it, I'm not sure if he's actually achieved the level of Super Saiyan at that point. I don't know if they mentioned Vegeta at all. So this is an early on one. Maybe they would use that as an excuse to not give them experienced fighters. I'm not too sure. But if we look at the physical one that obviously fuses into Gogeta, even though these are the angel versions of Goku and Vegeta, they are obviously on movie heroes, because they are the Goku and Vegeta from the Janemba movie. So these guys are a very close representation in terms of like categories as well. Obviously they're going to be missing out on things like Otherworld Warriors, Final Trump Card, like Fused Fighters, because obviously they're not going to fuse. But link set wise, I could see this. Again, experienced fighters could be up in the air. Kamehameha, again, depending on what their abilities and super attack animations are. But things like Golden Warrior, Super Saiyan, Prepared for Battle, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power, I mean, we're already off to a pretty good start with that link set. So I do think that the Dokkan Fest LR for Part 2 is going to be a Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta. But there's a couple of interesting ways they could do this, because obviously Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta, we just have this guy. They got their easy A during the anniversary, and they are still pretty runnable, even in some of the more difficult content. But I could see this unit being like an exchange unit. If we go back to look at the Goku thing here, I'm trying to find, where is the Goku Gohan going to be on here? Is it going to be higher up, or... I should have looked for this beforehand, but... Or is it going to be right near the bottom? Why is it not showing up on here? What am I missing? Super Saiyan... Oh, here we go. Super Saiyan Goku and Gohan. Right, so... This exchange unit with the slash... Because if it's Vegeta, then the unit would be named like this, right? Just like the in LR. But we could see an exchange unit... So the unit would be called Super Saiyan Goku slash Super Saiyan Goku and Super Saiyan Vegeta. Because I think it would, if it starts off as just Goku, it's not going to exchange into just Vegeta. It'll probably exchange into Vegeta and Goku. And obviously that opens up a lot of interesting ways they could do the exchange animation. Obviously it could be an active skill and you just have Vegeta join the fight. There's a cool bit where the army of Metal Cooler clones is coming down the cliff to attack them. After they've taken out the first Metal Cooler. They're both pretty tired at this point, both dropped to base, but they both power up into Super Saiyan, creates a massive aura, like massive explosion of yellow energy, which would look awesome as the exchange. Or they could even introduce a new mechanic, which I'm not sure if I'd be too confident that they will do that in this scenario, but it would be cool to see an exchange that was kind of like a counter. or it could be a revival, I guess, because when Vegeta turns up, Metal Cooler is choking the life out of Goku. So you could have that as a revival, or you could have it as almost like some sort of counter, where if you've taken a certain number of attacks or something like that, you would counter a super, but rather than the animation being what we're used to, where, you know, you fire back like a Kamehameha or something like that, the counter animation is Vegeta flying in and kicking the enemy, and then the unit exchanges into Goku and Vegeta. I think that would be really cool. Let me know what you guys think. But because it is basically a new mechanic, right, using a super attack counter to then change into another unit, I guess it plays too heavily into RNG. You'd have to make it so that once the exchange condition is available, like say from turn 3, turn 4, whatever, it's like a 100% chance. I guess if they really wanted to do it in a cool way, so you know you're going to get it, rather than being strung out for like 11 turns without seeing it. Say they made the condition turn 4, and that's it. You could literally get on turn 4, give them the thing that they give these units like the Int Vegeta, where, you know, they lose all their defense, so you know you're going to get like the thing. Actually, no, they don't need to do the lose defense. Give them a scouter effect, and give them a 100% chance to counter in exchange. And then you can just put the Goku where the super is. He guaranteed counters. I'm just thinking off the dome. I don't know how well that would actually work, especially for harder events. That could be a bit too cheesy. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. But Goku and Vegeta, I feel like, are a pretty safe bet for the Part 2 Dokkan Fest LR. It does mean another Dokkan Fest LR Goku and Vegeta, because whether they're Super Saiyan or not, there's quite a few versions of that now. But what else are we going to do for the Metal Cooler movie? So I feel like Goku exchanging into Goku and Vegeta is going to be a good option, but obviously we will have to wait and see. And so then when it comes to the Carnival LR banner, so if we're switching up the typings, these guys, Super Type Dokkan Fest exclusive LR, seems pretty obvious that the choice for the Carnival exclusive LR is going to be a Metal Cooler. Now again, just like the Goku or Goku and Vegeta, this presents us with an interesting way that we could do these units based around the way other units have been named before. So obviously we have the Dokkan Fest exclusive Metal Cooler, who transforms into the Metal Cooler core as like a giant form, but because of the way that works, it doesn't affect his character name, so he is just Metal Cooler. And then even standalone Metal Coolers are just called Metal Cooler. And then we have the LR Metal Cooler Army, specifically named because, of course, it is the whole load of them together. So, just like we talked about with the Goku and Vegeta, I feel like the best way to do this unit is to have a unique name from all these other units, right? Because hopefully this Metal Cooler is going to be the Dokkan Fest exclusive the Dokkan Fest exclusive Easy A for Part 2. But we obviously want to be able to run him with the new unit, so we don't want the new unit to just be called Metal Cooler. Also, I feel like if they just called the new unit Metal Cooler Army, that would be a bit of a shame, because it eliminates this unit. JP obviously has the Easy A, but Global doesn't. Bit of a shame that we didn't get that, because this would be a cool unit to use on the team if we actually had it on Global. But yeah, I don't think they should replace this guy by giving him the same name. So again, very much like the exchange with the Goku, I think it would be cool if the unit was Metal Cooler / Metal Cooler Army. Take all the animations from that first big fight with Goku and Vegeta, because the last part, where they're just in the big Getty Star with the Metal Cooler core, I mean, there's some cool animation bits in there, but obviously the fight, quote unquote, is basically over at that point. So I think it would be cool to do Metal Cooler / Metal Cooler Army, and then you can either have it as a revival or as just an exchange. A revival would be pretty cool, because obviously in the movie, the Metal Cooler Army arrives on the top of the cliff after the first physical Metal Cooler body gets destroyed by Goku and Vegeta. So that would actually be pretty cool if, as a revival animation, you know, when you take the hit, you get the KO, the little cut-in flies up, and then you could see the bit where it's like all the junk parts of Metal Cooler on the floor, the little last remaining parts like explode, and then it pans up to like the cliff, and all the Metal Coolers like walk up to the edge of the cliff, and then that could be the exchange animation, and then we have the Metal Cooler Army as the LR, which, you know, their animations and everything could be an updated version of this LR, could be a bunch of other stuff thrown in. Obviously, Dokkan original stuff is a thing now, even if they use filler bits between specific attacks that Metal Cooler actually did do, but then put some filler bits in with the clones into another attack that he actually did. Like, the whole animation doesn't have to be Dokkan original. They can use it to fill some of the gaps. So I definitely think, obviously, Metal Cooler is the #1 choice for the LR. I just would like to see him named in such a way that we don't eliminate any of these other Metal Coolers from being used, especially if this one is going to get an easy A. So, and then in terms of the new character to be released as the side banner unit, I might go into this in more detail when I make that video about what I think the banners will look like. But the only thing I was thinking of considering is Piccolo is the side banner unit for Cooler. And obviously he's a super type unit and is the side banner unit for Cooler. I was expecting to see a new Thouser, considering Cooler was extreme, but they went with the Piccolo. So what that could mean is if obviously Goku and Vegeta are going to be the super type Dokkan Fest exclusive LR, maybe the side banner unit type will be extreme, but then realistically the only thing I could kind of think of that would be the unit that you could see for that is this guy, the Cyclopean Guard. Now funnily enough, I've seen free-to-play players use this unit in like Super Battle Road and stuff because they have 40% damage reduction, they give defensive support. I mean, this unit doesn't even have an awakening with a TUR, so maybe that will happen from like a free story event in part 2 or something like that. But a side banner unit, one of these I could see. They could even make it so the name is slightly different, so you could still run the free-to-play alongside it. But obviously, not exactly like a hype choice, is it? But from rewatching the movie, there's not really a lot of other options. We got a Piccolo side banner unit in part 1, so I don't expect to see another one for part 2. The only other thing I was thinking is obviously some kind of variation of Gohan, Krillin, or Gohan and Krillin. But I guess the problem with a lot of these earlier characters in the early parts of Dragon Ball, where none of these characters have like other named forms, it means if they did bring out a Krillin and Gohan, then obviously they would be in direct competition with this unit in terms of the name. So, be interesting to see. Again, they could do another exchange type thing and have Krillin exchanging into Gohan or vice versa. Krillin and Gohan exchanging into Piccolo. Anything like that that makes the name different, I think would be beneficial. Just for the overall number of units you get to run out of this celebration. So, let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. As far as we can tell, I think it's pretty safe to say the Carnival exclusive LR is going to be some version of Metal Cooler. And then the Dokkan Fest exclusive LR is going to be some version of Goku and Vegeta, even if it starts out as a solo Goku who exchanges. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. What would your predictions be? What would you like to see from the units? Let me know down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.